Hey golfers, in this video we're going to look at 3 of my favorite drills for dialing in your driver. I always like to boil down the task to what's the main thing we're trying to accomplish. And with the driver, our main goal is to create a window down at the bottom of the swing where the club is traveling through with very little change in the club face and very little change in the path. We like to call that the flat spot. Now, in order to do that, in order to get a good flat spot, my body has to be delivering more of the hit so that I'm in this kind of side bent and rotated position, and then the arms are going to be extending late. And you can see as I do that, the club isn't changing very much. If, on the other hand, I hit this where my upper body is a little bit more on top of the golf ball and high, and I'm straightening my arms, what'll happen is you'll see that the club face twists a lot as I straighten the arms, and the club height varies a lot. It goes from high to low to high. The club face goes from open to close. That's really hard to time. It's a lot easier to time with a iron than it is with a driver. The driver has more momentum. It would be like playing table tennis with a really heavy paddle. You wouldn't be able to just flick it last second and change the face. You'd have to like get your body in position earlier and get it all moving in the right direction. That's essentially what we have to have happening here with the driver. So we're going to go through 3 of my favorite drills for working on your driver. One is going to be just a global drill where we're going to use an impact bag to work on a feeling of a more stable club face on the way through. So I'll often combo this drill with a preset drill where I'm going to hold the club up like this, and I'm just going to close the club face slightly. So if this is straight up and down, I'm going to close it maybe 10 degrees, and I'm basically going to keep it there, turning my body like this. Now, this will give you a feel of the club face not changing a whole lot. If you are a very inconsistent driver with big misses right and left, you probably are going to be feeling like the club face is opening and then wanting to close. So this is going to feel very stiff with your wrists. Now, we're going to use an impact bag, but I don't want you to hit this hard. I do not like hitting impact bags hard with a graphite shaft. So this is more of just something to freeze the club so I can take a look at where the club face was pointing. And I want it to be just slightly left of the target as it's hitting the bag, but I want it to feel like it's not changing a whole lot as it's going through that window. So once I've done a couple of those to get a feeling of this more kind of body-driven movement, I'm gonna set up the ball. I'm gonna imagine that the impact bag is out there, and I'm gonna try to get the club into that position there where it hasn't really changed a whole lot. And like that little toe contact, so it was an extra draw, but overall task was accomplished. Still would have hit the fairway, and that's our main goal with the driver, is to get the ball in play so we have an unobstructed second shot so we can take advantage of our iron play to try to hit some greens. Okay, so that gives us kind of task number 1, feeling that the club face is more stable or square through that impact window. The complement is using your body. And so now we're gonna do a drill that helps me not pull my arms quite so much on the way through. And this is a good one that you can do either at the range or at home. We're gonna use the driver to kind of pin my left arm, and then I'm going to feel like I'm gonna get into this position where I would be kind of skipping a stone. I'm sure you've heard people talk about how the golf swing, especially the driver swing, is more like skipping a stone. The parallels is basically I would have my body side bent and rotated kind of like this, and the arm timing would be very late to get the club to travel long and flat along the low point there. If I did that basically same motion and I got into this position and then extended the arms, that's very similar to what it would feel like skipping a stone, and I would feel that like the club face isn't changing a whole lot there. So I'm going to do this little drill, either actually throwing a ball or just going through the motion. That'll help me feel like my core and my arm and body are kind of all working together. So now I'm going to do more of like a half or maybe a 3/4 swing where I'm going to feel that skipping a stone feeling, where I've got kind of the shoulder going down and through and feeling like I'm hitting it more with my body. That was a pretty good one there. I'd feel, all right, I've got a little feeling that I want to test and start hitting fuller shots, but we want to kind of combine these two now into a third one where we're feeling like the club face is going to be a little bit more square, and now we're going to get that body to lead even longer. So we did the first version where we were just kind of turning like this, but now we're going to try to put it together so that I'm getting into this skipping a stone impact feel, but with the concept of the club face not changing a whole lot. To do that, I'm probably going to feel like I have to twist the club a little bit at some point, either to end the backswing or to start the downswing. And then I can feel like I'm hitting this mostly with my body and my arms are extending very late. So one drill, we're focusing mostly on the club face with either the impact bag or the horizontal swings. Second drill, we're focusing mostly on the body position with either the sidearm or the throw under your left arm. And now we're going to try to combine them together and add a little bit of speed. So I'm going to feel a little bit more kind of motorcycle move, getting into that good impact stone or skipping stone position, we'll call it. Little pull there. I felt like I threw a little early. Let's do one more one where we try to combo it and maybe add a little bit more speed. I do like to do, if you are struggling with the club face control aspect of the driver, then I do like to do more of kind of like almost a swing hard, stop short, where I'm feeling like I'm keeping my club face and arm structure. That just gives the overall feeling of the club being a little bit more quiet on the way through. And then I can combo that to adding a little bit more speed. Kind of like that. It's the nice little bullet draw ball flight that I like to hit. Some people prefer to hit it a little bit higher. You can, use contact location, angle of attack, look at the loft if you're playing around with height, but this should help dial in the left to right dispersion, which I find is the more important factor in why a lot of golfers struggle off the tee. They tend to hit either big right, big left, and that almost always comes down to having a really narrow flat spot. So here's a few of my favorite drills to work on it. Now, if you like these and there's other parts of your game that you're struggling with, click on the link in the description below for more drills to help your golf game. Not bad.